Okie dokie. Where's Twitch? There's Twitch. Where's stream? There's the account. There's stream. Is stream working? Yeah, well, stream is working as it should. That is good. So, stream is up, chat is up, we're all set and ready to go. We shouldn't be too far away from the start, folks. We don't have many for this race tonight. Only 15 or so checking in as ready to race, so yeah, not a huge number. But we'll get this from time to time, KD. So
eventually, yeah.
Hopefully attendance can get back up to where it once was. Next round, Spa should be fairly popular, especially with it being a sprint, so
yeah, of course. Plus with the 2 week, it would be 2 weeks away, wouldn't it? Because next week we don't race. After that.
You have to double check calendar for that. September 10th to 12th. Yeah, it looks like we do have a break week. Break week. Just seen the ready up signal given. Everyone will hit the tick. Soon we'll get this whole thing underway. Just waiting on enough people to ready up. There we go. Alright. Timer hits 0. Start off the intro as per normal. Get round 3 underway. Hello everyone and welcome to round 3 of the Elite Series here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Lane Everingham, your commentator for this event, and for tonight we'll be competing at Circuit Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix. One of the oldest tracks on the calendar, having been constructed in 1948, Circuit Zandvoort has been the sole home of the Dutch Grand Prix ever since the very beginning of the Formula One World Championship in 1950. But even with the circuit's lengthy racing heritage, it would find itself absent from the Formula One schedule for almost 40 years. But in 2021, with the ever-increasing popularity of one Max Verstappen, the circuit would make a triumphant return with an updated design on which we race on today. The modern-day layout measures up at 4.26 kilometers, consists of 14 corners and 2 DRS zones that lead into the prime overtaking spots of Turn 1 and Turn 11. Outside of those areas, the overtaking difficulty will tend to skyrocket. It's a fast, technical, old-fashioned racetrack with grass and gravel traps lining the edges of the circuit. Qualifying well and gaining as much track position as possible will be key for achieving victory today. But before we focus on qualifying, there is a bit of news to go through first from last week's race in Bahrain. There were 3 incident reports handed over to the stewards, 2 of which resulted in no further action. A third one also resulted in somewhat no further action. It was the incident between Big Al, Jack Humphreys and Ryan Bell, an incident that we caught on the very last lap. It seemed that Mr. Humphreys reported in Big Al for that dive bomb that he made at Turn 4, as it did indeed result in contact. Now, the stewards looked over everybody's POVs, try and get as much information as possible, and they deemed it, at the end of the day, a racing incident. But both drivers, both Humphreys and Big Al, have been given warnings. Big Al was given a warning thanks to the dive bomb that resulted in minor contact, and Humphreys was given a warning due to multiple defensive moves on the track and moving under braking. But all in all, no time penalties were handed out post-race, and as a result, the final results remain unchanged. In the Drivers' Championship, it is Jack Humphreys who leads on 55 points, followed by Big Al in second on 45, 10 points behind. CZK rounds out the top three on 43 points. In the Constructors, McLaren are leading on a very nice 69 points, followed by Haas on 55, then Williams on 44. Everyone has scored points in the Constructors, including Mercedes-Benz at the bottom of the table, who has scored only 1 point so far. Jin Bin is about to begin a flying lap. We might ride on board with him, give you a tour of this 4.2 kilometre racetrack. Down towards turn 1, 8th gear here with DRS wide open. We get hard on the brakes, bring it down to 4th, down to 3rd as we get back on the power, exiting Tarzan corner. Up towards turn 2, this right-hander, and into the first bank curve, turn 3, one of the signature parts of the racetrack. Up towards turn 4, absolutely flat out here, then through turn 5, then into the right of 6, and then into the tricky turn 7. Small lift, back on the accelerator, 6th gear, using a little bit of outside curve as we head into turn 8 and head up towards turn 9. Brings it down to 3rd gear, gets back on the power, short shifting up to 4th as we head around the hairpin at turn 10. Onto this straightaway. He'll open DRS and head up towards turn 11. A potential overtaking spot. It is difficult to get it done though through the chicane complex as we make our way out of turn 12. Up towards turn 13. It's important that you get a nice exit out of here and around the final bank curve with DRS open. You can see it open here, making his way out of the final corner onto the main straightaway. He'll set the benchmark of a 1 minute 9.136. With that lap out of the way, I can introduce my co-commentator for tonight, who is once again KD1997. KD, we're seeing times being put on the board so far. Wow, that's an 8.3 from Ryan Bell. That is a hell of a lap time. What are your thoughts about Circuit Zandvoort?
As you say that, well, that's a stunning lap indeed. Well, there's something we've always said before, that Zandvoort is a driver's circuit. It's a great hot lap track. Very much of a roller coaster, not much room for error because you don't have a lot of runoff area. It's a lot of gravel and grass. But, yeah, it's also very hard to overtake, as we've seen numerous occasions. Obviously, not just in virtual, but obviously in the real life F1 races we've seen the last 2 years. With these cars, but yeah, no, it's a good track, but yeah, like I said, it's just very hard to overtake. So yeah, qualifying is going to be extremely important for sure for everybody.
Got no news about the weather as well, so I'm going to assume it's going to be dry for both sessions. Let's hope so, because this track can turn quite nasty in wet weather conditions. But yeah, qualifying is going to be the main focus about this whole race. Only one real overtaking spot down at turn 1. I mentioned turn 11. You can get it done there, but it's very, very tough. It's not a very long DRS, so you don't get a lot of opportunity to gain speed and try and send it on your rival down at the right-hander. So primarily turn 1 is going to be everybody's overtaking area.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Tarzan corner is obviously the most primary spot. You can try turn 3, but it's almost impossible if you want to go for an outside move. Inside move, yeah, probably, but yeah, no. Other than that, it's not really possible. But yeah, you mentioned also to the run down in 11, it's like you're gonna either have to get a good run yourself if you can, or just pray the car in front of you makes a slight error if you're gonna try and make an overtake.
Absolutely. The man who's second in the championship, Big Al, is about to begin a flying lap. He'll head up towards turn 1, Tarzan corner, 314 kilometers an hour, the entry speed, exiting in 3rd gear, 4th gear, 5th gear, into the little kink of turn 2. It's important that he set up a nice run here into turn 3. Vastly different line in the video game world compared to the real life world of Formula 1. You'll see the drivers use the top part of the banking, but here in the video game world it's much, much quicker to stay on the bottom. Round turn 7, up towards turn 8, a very tricky right-hander. So easy to get it wrong, especially in older F1 games with this racetrack, because this is an updated design of Zandvoort. As Jin Bin retires, that's at the final corner. And he's out of qualifying.
Yeah, that's at the entry to the final corner from what it looks like on the mini-map. And now the car is gone, unfortunately. But yeah, that's crucial there for Jinbin, too. And that's really not going to get him anywhere much with that to lap time. as Big Al's invalidated at the penultimate corner as well.
As indeed. He's going to complete this lap, though. Sets an 8.335. That would have put him on provisional pole position. But luckily for him, it's only the beginning stages of qualifying. Still got a long, long way to go. But you can see the soft tyre in the final corner. So, yeah, he ended up a fair way into that final corner to end up crashing out. He obviously must have lost control through 13 and somehow put it into the barrier.
Yeah, that's a common mistake. I mean, I did that 2 seasons ago, back at Zandvoort. But yeah, thankfully though, this track's a little bit more forgiving thanks to the curves actually being a little bit better than what it was the last couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. As I was talking before, the track has undergone a bit of a redesign. A lot of the curves, particularly inside ones, have been redesigned, reprofiled. They are so much flatter, so much nicer to take, KD, now. Of course, there are some curbs you need to actively avoid, but a lot of the curbs now, you can actually take them a little bit and not fear of death.
Yeah, because they're a lot more flatter and all that, like we've seen from certain other tracks like Austria and all that. Like, for example, being more properly scanned. Now, this is actually now a little bit the same story as well. But yeah, no, like exit of turn, exit of turn 8 is a bit nicer because I remember the outside curve you could get stuck on it even with even a tire on. You could still get stuck on it, which thankfully they redesigned that. And then yeah, like I mentioned, the penultimate core leading to the final turn, they at least have that a little bit more forgiving.
Ferrari Pro on a flying lap, making his way out of turn 10. He'll open DRS and head up towards the middle sector split. He's on a pretty decent lap at the moment. He's up by 1.5 tenths of a second. Needs to find a bit more time to try and overtake Spicy Salami, who currently occupies P2. Humphreys vaults to the top of the board with a 1 minute 8.193. He, for whatever reason, is in the Mercedes-Benz. I'm not sure if we'll do a reset to fix that, but yeah, he's in the Merc as Ferrari Pro crosses the line and goes fourth quickest, jumps in front of Spicy. Someone who has also jumped up is CZK. The Malaysian driver in the Alfa Romeo has just done an 8.2. Ryan Bell is on a flying lap, making his way around turn 3. Such a fantastic corner. The banked left-hander as we make our way around turn 5 into turn 6. Then the notorious right-hander of 7. He's up by 35 thousandths of a second in the first sector. Around turn 8, 6th gear, big lift, getting back to full throttle as soon as he possibly can. Brings it down to 3rd gear, short shifts up to 4th. We'll head around the left-hander of turn 10. Brings it back down to 3rd, short shifts up to 4th as we head into the final straightaway before turn 11. Oh, he's up by a fair chunk, 2.5 tenths. That's a lot of time for such a little racetrack, KD.
It did look like he overshot turn 11, but somehow pulled the car up. Let's see how he is around the final sector as he makes his way around the final corner. Down the main straightaway with the DRS. Of course, the DRS is now different in this sort of game. And look at that. He's already up to pole with a 1 minute 8.159. Very nice lap indeed. Not
much separating the top two. It's sort of a common trend with both Elite and Pacific Tier 1. Qualifying has been incredibly close. It's fantastic to watch. Spicy, he's not too far down on his first sector split. He's making his way through the middle sector, the most technical part of the racetrack. 4th gear through turn 9. 5th gear back down to 4th. 3rd, no, just 4th. Tidy exit, no wheel spin, no oversteer whatsoever. As he heads up towards the middle sector split, he's up by 1/10 of a second. So he's pushing for that P4 spot. He won't push any higher than that, though. It's a considerable gap, KD, between P3 and 4.
Yeah, no, and they're also top drivers I think we've kind of established so far in this series. But meanwhile, Spicy jumps up to 4th with a 1 minute 8.523. Just about 10.5 up on Ferrari Pro.
I think we're going to see a guy vault up the leaderboards here, and that guy is Big Al. He's making his way out of turn 9 with a bit of a wiggle. He'll make his way around turn 10 as Kebab jumps up to P5 with an 8.6, only a few hundredths in front of Ferrari Pro. So it's pretty tight. We got some groups forming. I mean, we have 3 drivers in the 1 minute 8.9s, got 3 drivers in the 1 minute 9 flats. a couple of other drivers in the 1 minute 9.1s, and one of them's retired. So it's really tight. It's incredibly tight. But there's a definite top pack, and I think Big Al's going to join it. Crosses the line, and it's P4. Only a few thousandths of a second of CZK in P3.
And also the second driver to be in the 1 minute A2 range as well.
T-Mac jumps up to P8. He enters the sixes now. So yeah, it's real tight. From P5 down to even P15. 6 tenths. That's not too bad for a 14-turn racetrack. A lot of complicated corners to try and negotiate as well, where you can lose pockets of time.
Oh yeah, especially if you make any slight error. One little slip up around this place, it could cost you quite significantly. Definitely, for sure. You got a lot of negative. You got some camber corner. Sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, you got some negative camber corners. You got some really pretty much low speed to medium speed corners that can affect the exit of the corner as well. Turn 10 more significantly. I can't speak English apparently. More significantly, yeah, it's a bit of a tricky area to get an exit out of certain areas of the track.
Luke Rockford beginning a flying lap. The Red Bull driver making his way into turn 2. Down to 5th gear, back down to 3rd gear as he hugs the inside line all the way around turn 3. Heading up towards the first sector split. We'll make our way through the flat out section here, through these flat S's around turn 6. Clock says to the first sector, he's found a fair chunk of time. He's found nearly 3 tenths in the first sector alone. So he's challenging that 6th range. That sort of the middle of the pack's at right now, sort of Spicy Kebab, Ferrari Pro and T-Mac. If he can find even more time, he might be able to jump in front of that queue. Don't know if he'll challenge the top 4, although he's found 4 tenths of a second.
4 tenths.
We've still got 1 sector to go. This is looking like a pretty tidy lap here from Luke as he makes his way out of the penultimate corner. Importantly, keeps it within the white lines. Very easy to understeer wide at 13 and invalidate your flying lap. Rockford crosses the line and he jumps to 5th. 1 minute 8.421. That's a nice recovery, but I think with the amount of time left, he might be able to do 1 more lap.
He could. That's depending also what allocation he uses as well. I imagine it's either balanced or softer allocations for this event. But, yeah, that's not far off, though. Yeah, only about, 3 tenths between himself and Ryan Bell at the moment for Luke Rockford.
Yeah, not bad at all. So, yeah. I think he'd be pretty happy with that. Matt Plevy was on a flying lap of 10, but evidently he's not happy with it. So he's bailed and he's going back into pit lane. Something important to note as well, it's a 60 kilometre per hour pit lane. It ain't 80. I've seen a fair few speeding penalties around here, KD. It's a very fast entry. You have to brake quite a lot.
Yeah, there's actually a good reason for that. Because in the real life, because of how it's so narrow in the pit boxes, they have to, that's why they they kind of slowed that down to 60 kph because, just for safety reasons, of course.
Yeah, naturally. And you can tell when you're right on board with the car making your way through the pits, there isn't a hell of a lot of room in pit lane, so it's very understandable why the speed limit is dropped to 60 kilometers an hour, like with racetracks over at Monaco, Silverstone as well. But with Silverstone, that's like a corner cutting issue. You've got plenty of room in pit lane, but pit entry cuts Vale and Club, so you don't want to be speeding through that at 80 kilometers an hour. You get quite an advantage out of it, so they slow them down to 60. Yes, Mr. Brock, there are only 15 cars tonight. It's not the biggest attendance in the world, but we still got a field, and these guys are quite competitive, as you can tell from the times. Mr. Apollo Pepsi making his way around the final corner and onto the main straightaway will begin what could be his final flying lap attempt with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock. Around turn 1, 4th gear, back on the power, heading up towards turn 2. Up through the gears, up to 6th gear, back down to 5th, back up to 6th, nice and quickly, down to 4th around turn 3. Oh, little slidey.
Might have cost some time there, I think.
Down by half a tenth in the first sector. It might have cost him time. He did have a moment though, out of turn 3. I did catch a small itty bitty moment, but hopefully, yeah, that impediment didn't cost him anything in the long run. Hopefully. We also got Ryan Bell on the lap, Apollo Pepsi's teammate. He's making his way around the bank, left-hander of turn 3, up towards the first sector split. We head around the left of turn 5, into the right of 6. Clock says to the first sector he's up by 24 thousandths of a second. CZK is heading up towards the first sector split. The Malaysian driver improves by a tenth in the first sector. It's a fair chunk of time already in just one sector. Bell making his way out of turn 10, down towards the middle sector split. What can the Alpine driver do? He's up by 7 hundredths of a second. Humphries is heading up towards the first sector split. CZK is heading towards the middle sector split. Clock says he's up by 2 tenths. Humphries is up by 1 tenth. Bell is making his way around the final corner and back onto the main straightaway. The Alpine driver should improve, does improve to a 1 minute 8.022. CZK will be the next car to cross the line. Can he improve? The answer is yes, but it's not enough for pole. An 8-1. Humphries is next. Where is Big Al? Big Al's done. He is down by 4 tenths of a second. So he will not improve at all. He shouldn't improve at all.
Jack is up by 2 tenths, though. Keep that in mind.
Could we see a 7 from Humphries? He makes his way out of the final corner, back onto the main straightaway, towards the line. It's an 8 flat. He does it by 11 thousandths of a second.
Oh, wow. I was expecting a 7.9 out of that lap. I'm not going to lie. Luke Rockford's down. He's not going to improve at all. But Spicy up by just over a tenth and a half to the middle sector. Final corner around the final banking corner. Crosses the line, we'll set an 8-3. Goes 5th. Not bad indeed.
Not bad at all. We've got T-Mac coming up towards the line. He's pretty even with his splits. Crossing the line, he improves. 9th position is the best he can do. Bags goes back into pit lane, and evidently he's not happy with his final run. So it's Humphries who will start from pole position for this Dutch Grand Prix. An incredibly fine margin at the top. Only 11 thousandths of a second separating the top 2 at the end of qualifying. Fine margins, KD.
Fine margins indeed, 11 thousandths. Yeah, quite impressive.
Just be waiting on Mr. Ferrari Pro to get pulled back into his garage and we can move on to the race itself. Formation lap, if I do recall, KD, should be turned off for this one.
Yes, that is correct. That's what I was told.
Just to have that in the back of my mind as we get ready for lights out. But for now, results from qualifying. Humphries has put it on pole with Ryan Bell alongside him on the front row. Not much separating the top 2 at the end of qualifying. CZK is P3, followed by Big Al. Spicy, a very, very solid P5, followed by Rockford in P6. Ferrari Pro 7th, followed by Kebab in 8th. T-Mac 9th. Stevenson rounds out the top 10. Then we have Apollo Pepsi, Matt Plevy, Bags Liddell, Karma and Jimbin will start from the very back. And consider this, KD. He crashed out at the beginning of qualifying. He's 15th, only 1.1 seconds behind.
Yeah. Quite ironic, isn't it? Who knows what it could have been for Jinbin if he actually was still in the session.
Yeah, no, that's a mega effort, considering he did that on not a optimized racetrack during a time where he's just trying to find a benchmark. He did very well. It's just unfortunate he crashed out during that session. Overcast conditions here in Zandvoort, but no signs of rain just yet. I haven't got a message about rain either, so I'm guessing it's just going to be overcast and dry.
I've got nothing either, so yeah.
Something to remember, KD, we have it set to approximate weather. So if there's clouds, there's a chance.
Yeah, that's something I probably should have remembered back in Austria as well.
Yeah, no, the weather system that we use, it's not the perfect setting.
It's
approximate.
Yeah.
So it may come up with clouds, but,
then
it
then it
doesn't
could be
mean it's
rain.
not going to be rain. So always got to keep that in mind. We might see some rain. If there's clouds, there's a chance. So drivers will be fine-tuning their setups, making sure they have the right amount of fuel in the car as we get ready for lights out. 15 cars on the grid, 5 lights in front of us. And we're underway here at Zandvoort. It's a nice start from Humphries. It's a nice start from Bell. Humphries covers Bell into turn 1. Bell looking round the outside. He's got the grip of the medium tyre to try and assist him. He is keeping the fight alive as we head into turn 2. Round the outside, now down the inside at turn 3. Humphries tries to put up a fight. The Alpine gets in front by a hair as we head around turn 5. Up towards turn 6. Bell takes the lead. Humphries down in second. Al's moved up to third. CZK in fourth. Spicy holding fifth. Rockford in trouble. He's got Ferrari Pro right behind. Kebab is following suit as well as we head down into turn 9. Everyone line astern. Everyone behaving themselves. Getting ready for a long 36-lap race, KD. It's been a very, very tidy start.
It has been a tight start, and only 4 drivers on the hards, and most of them on the medium compound tire to keep in mind as well, including our race leader at the moment. Meanwhile, the Karma backs, side by side through 11 and 12, and Karma gets by there. Very nicely done. A little bit of concept, but gets through nonetheless. But yeah, Ryan Bell on the medium tires is up by 0.7 of a second at the moment at the end of lap 1 of 36.
Ferrari Pro gets by Rockford. Here comes Kebab on the attack, looking down the inside of the Red Bull as we head into Tarzan corner for the second time. He gets in front into 7th position on the hard compound tyre as well, so he's not mucking around on that compound. He wants to try and gain as much track position as possible. While the field is nice and bunched up, it will become progressively more difficult as we move further and further into this race. But no, I'm quite impressed, KD. They've all kept it pretty tidy. And that battle of the front, it was tight, it was hard fought, but it was clean.
It was very clean indeed, for sure. Yeah, Ryan Bell getting there through turn 3, very nicely done. But he needs to pull away. He needs to pull a bit of a gap between himself and Jack Humphries. It's right now 8/10, but he needs to build a bit more. He doesn't want to have the Mercedes with DRS on the... Gee whiz, Ryan Bell went sideways there at turn 11. I mean, that's something you have mentioned before about Ryan Bell, how he loves to have a loose car. And, well, that's proof evident on this race, too. It's actually lost some time, actually, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, just a little bit of time, down to 6.5 of a second. So something that Humphries will try and do is stick within that 1 second range and have some DRS assistance down the 2 straightaways on the racetrack. Every little bit of assistance does help him in the long run. More importantly, though, I think for his situation, keeping Big Al behind him, who was also on the medium compound tyre, I think will work out very well strategically for Mr. Humphries. So if he can keep within a second of Bell and keep Big Al behind him, he'll be in a very strong, very, very strong strategic position.
Well, I probably would say that he is, because Ryan Bell is already near the end of his life on battery. It's at 14%. Jack has got 44, and look at that, he's got DRS. What does he need to do, basically? Well, not much, just sit behind the car in front of him and just ride along. Pretty much is what I would do.
Rockford gets by Kebab. Jimbin gets by Apollo. Jimbin on the soft compound tyre, so he's thrown the conventional rule book out the window. He's bolted on the softs. He's trying to go. And he's made up positions. He's made up 4 to be exact from starting 15th on the grid. He's made up the most out of anybody as Karma's looking for a run around the outside of Apollo Pepsi. He's got it too. He'll get in front and into 12th position. Rockford fighting Ferrari Pro. That battle resolves itself as Matt Plevy goes around the outside of Jimbin.
Yeah, a bit of contact between those two I noticed there. It's the first corner. Karma really went over the curve at turn 3, but yeah, so far clear. Well, clean, yeah, and pretty much close at the moment. I think that's what I was going for. But yeah, so far not too bad. Close for the top 4. Yeah, Humphries and well, I guess you could say it's EZK because
off
right
the
now
circuit. That is T-Mac. off the racetrack at the entry to turn 9. Plummets down the order, down to 14th place. See if he's got any damage on that wing of his. No, he doesn't, so I have a feeling he did that by himself.
He could have just hit the outside curve there at turn 8, I probably would assume. Or did what Leclerc did in qualifying yesterday and just got off and understeered.
Yep, fair
Whatever
play.
the case may be. Whatever the case may be, but yeah, he's lucky not to get damage.
But no, he joined Stevenson at the back. Both drivers have not had the best of starts. Look at them. Both of them down 5 positions apiece. Compared to Jim Bin, now up 6 as he attacks Matt Plevy and gets through. A clean overtake there at turn 1. Jin Bin moves up to 9th position. Meanwhile, Ferrari Pro is still not letting go of Rockford. This battle is ongoing as they make their way out of turn 3. And out in front, it's Ryan Bell leading the way with Jack Humphreys behind, followed by Big Al and CZK. This top 4 battle pack, it's just like Bahrain all over again.
Kinda is, isn't it, with these guys. But I wonder too, even though this pit lane is 60 kph, we know from before it was 80, wasn't really the biggest effect in terms of undercut. I wonder what it's going to be like for this sort of occasion, in terms of how the undercut will be. Maybe it might be more powerful this occasion, for this time about.
Potentially.
We'll later on. Yeah, we'll wait later on, of course.
Especially now in F1 23, where the undercut has proved to be a very effective strategy, because fresh tyres offer a lot of pace. But equally, worn tyres don't offer anything in this game. So you stay out there for longer, you leave yourself vulnerable to those behind who are on fresher tyres, but you gain an immediate advantage by attempting the undercut as Bags Liddell gets by Apollo. That is down the inside at turn 1. We're going to see a lot of action at turn 1, folks. Quite a fair bit of it. Everywhere else, we're going to... see drama like that with Bags Liddell through turn 3. Lost the back end again. Good catch. And he's hung on to P12. That's what we're going to see around the rest of the racetrack. All of our side-by-side battling, more than likely done at turn 1.
Yeah, pretty much. Or being case also to lean up to 3, but that's if they're lucky in that sort of aspect.
Nice little aerial shot here, looking down at the racetrack. Spicely leading the train for 5th place, followed by Luke Rockford, Ferrari Pro, then Kebab, and all that Kebab needs to do is just hang in there on those hard compound tyres. T-Mac gets by Apollo. That's for P13. Apollo shuffled down the order thanks to him being on the hard tyre. Yeah, no, a nice tidy start to the race. We're 7 laps in, no penalties, no one's got damage, no one's needed to make a pit stop as Matt Plevy gets back by Jinbin. That was at turn 1. Looks like he did that pretty comfortably as well, looking at the intervals. But Bell, under a bit of pressure, he's unable to break away from Humphreys.
Yeah, he's in a bit of a dire state, really. 13% battery, yeah. No, and another thing too, this place is not very easy to save battery either, considering there's not really any heavy braking zones, or not too many, I should say. Ooh, as Ryan Bell has another moment. Look at that. 2 moments he had, if you're looking on board with Jack Humphreys like I am. 2 moments there, the exit of turn 9. That's cost him a bit of time. So, yeah, he's feeling a bit of pressure, I think, there, that Alpine driver.
Understeer this time through 11, heading into 12, and a bit of slide coming out of 13. That car is loose. But the problem is, it doesn't have much front end either from that little moment through turn 11, because it did not turn in. It didn't turn in. It rotated enough, then it over-rotated at the exit. And here comes Humphreys, a fairly simple pass down the inside at turn 1. Bell will slot himself in between the new race leader and Big Al in P3. So a neat, tidy exchange between the top 2. Meanwhile, Rockford is at the front of this train. Now he's in front of Spicy Salami. Spicy just sitting behind for a bit as...
Oh, Humphreys has left.
Well, isn't that a colossal freaking shame? All that brilliant work during the opening 8 laps, and the Codemaster gods have said, "Nah, mate. Sorry. You're disconnecting for a bit." Well, hopefully he can find an invite and rejoin as soon as possible. Keep time loss to a minimum. He's still very much in this fight. Oh, it's Big Al's left the session.
Oh dear.
This is a problem.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Well, we saw this too in the America series, I remember, a few days ago, where we had some disconnections. Oh dear, oh dear.
Well, hopefully they can find their way back as soon as possible. Kebab's now left the session.
Too. That's 3 PC players gone too.
Rockford's left the session.
Rockford's session. That's 4.
Oh, it's random roulette. Everybody's going, are they?
It seems to be affecting the PC players more.
Yellow's out. Plevy stopped. Bell's retired. What's going on?
Plevy, safety car's been no, VSC's been deployed.
Red flag declared by Captain Liddell.
Oh! I just saw frickin' Blake just get smashed into the wall. Gee whiz. That turned to...
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
We got a red flag.
Alright. I'm guessing for all the disconnections. Well,
yes.
There you go. Yeah, well, there you go. Alright, well, I guess we'll leave.
I guess we have to leave. So, I don't know why there is a red flag, but we got a red flag.
I'll try to get word of that, or look at Discord real quick.
Because with what happened in America's series, it appeared that people would get split off into their own little lobbies. It would seem like people would just disconnect from each other but stay in a lobby. It was very strange.
Oh yeah, I think Rebel explained that to you. Yeah, no, I've experienced that as well, where, I mean, I've had a disconnection before, and it looked like everyone disconnected except me, but except I was the one that did it, apparently. So, yeah, no, I had that experience, I remember, 3 weeks ago in another league at Abu Dhabi, and, yeah. Funny enough, when that happened, my AI apparently cleaned up a car next to me that was battling at turn 9, and yeah, caused a bit of a mess.
But yeah,
yeah,
it's a big freaking mess. Like, according to Ferrari Pro, every time somebody left the lobby, he gets screen freezes. Like, apparently quite bad screen freezes. We didn't. I certainly didn't get any screen freezes when people left.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Ferrari Pro's also on PS4, remember?
Oh yeah.
We're both of us are on PS5.
PS5, yeah, up to date gen, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's something I've said. That I think we've said before. What I've talked to you about before. Off air, it's just like, yeah, I feel like this may only, like, the screen freezes still affect only, like, the old gen people.
Yeah.
Which is a damn shame. It really is. Like, if you're gonna promote something, like, to be PS4, PS5, or whatever the case may be, just make sure it works for the old gen people too. Like, seriously.
Yeah, well, just, if it doesn't work, then why even make it commercially available for them to buy? Just...
Yeah, exactly.
It makes no sense to. But they do, because it earns them money, so...
Yep.
But yeah, it's a bit of an odd one here, folks. What I suspect is kind of what I tried to explain. It's where people would be racing along and randomly they'll get a bunch of people disconnecting. And it'll be different from 2 different points of view. So, some people will disconnect from the lobby, from your point of view. But from their point of view, they're still in the lobby and you actually disconnected. It's very, very strange. You have to kind of experience it firsthand to have a proper understanding of it. Like, I've had it happen to me a couple of times. I think, KD, you've experienced it as well.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, I was just explaining that, but yeah.
It's... Yeah. It's
what
great.
we're dealing with. It's just what we're dealing with right now, it seems.
But no, I was kind of hoping after America's Tier 1 that was sort of just a one-off thing. Join. It is not a one-off thing, I'm guessing.
No, it's not. Well, I mean, was it just Rebel that had that issue, or did other people have that same issue?
Rebel and Blockman disconnected. I don't think anyone else did.
Yeah, I do remember. Well, yeah. Yeah, I do remember that.
Very well, Mr. Rockford. So he's just messaged in the chat. He's out. He doesn't. He can't keep going because if he does, he's going to have some very upset kiddies, and nobody wants upset children. They're impossible. Yeah. So fair enough, man. Fair enough. We'll keep this rolling though. Have you got an invite? Out of curiosity.
Yeah, I can give you one if you don't have it.
No, I'm in the lobby.
Oh. Never mind, then. Yes, I've got it.
Okay.
I'm good. Yep, here I am. So I guess we're gonna go 35%?
Looks like it. That's 25 laps. That's definitely not 30.
Yep.
So...
I'm gonna guess we're gonna go by what the order that happened before the red flag.
Well, initially, Mr. Liddell, who's the captain of this lobby, stated that we're going to do a full race distance, so 50%, with the grid set through qualifying. But considering we're at 25 laps, that's a 35% race distance. I have a feeling it will be set to the order of the grid when we made the red flag, or when he made the red flag. So, yeah, no, this wouldn't be a freaking issue if Codemasters actually made something that worked. You know, you add all these features in to try and make it more inclusive for everyone to try and race, and all it's done is add more obstacles for leagues to deal with to try and make this stuff work. It's incredibly frustrating to deal with. Just, I mean, if you're going to make this crossplay thing work, you really need to put the time in to actually make it work. Because ever since we've implemented it, we've always had hurdles to try and jump over. And we, as a community, have worked hard to jump over it. I know that firsthand. I've heard it from people putting effort in to try and work out which is the most stable platform to host crossplay on. You know, because we just can't reliably use the platform and have anyone host. Typically, PlayStation fares the best when it comes to hosting, from what people have found out. So, you know, we put in all this effort, and Codemasters, you know, it just, I'm sure they'll get there. But yeah, we've had a lobby reset, ACW. That's what we've had. We had a mass disconnect during the opening stages of the race, about 7-8 laps in. About 5 people in unison, within a time span of about 20-30 seconds, disconnected from the lobby. And out of reaction to that, Bags Liddell, who's in charge of the lobby, declared a red flag. So we now have the race set at a 35% race distance. As you can tell in the left hand side of the screen, the race distance is 25 laps instead of 36.
Yes, 25 laps.
Yeah. Similar, yes, we believe it is similar to what happened with Rebel and Blockman in America's Tier 1. At least from what I can understand from the Elite Series chat, I think that's the thing that's happened. But instead of happening to 2 people, it's happened to about 5.
5 people. Mm-hmm.
Because apparently some of the people, like Jack, for example, Jack was the first one to disconnect. According to him in the Discord, he was still racing. So, yeah. Even though, from our point of view, he DC from the lobby.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Yep. Yep, and like I said, I dealt with that 3 weeks ago at Abu Dhabi. In another league. That also does crossplay. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, like, it's like it looks like everything's fine, but then it's like, you see everyone's disconnected, it's like, what on earth is happening? And then, yeah. You then have to slowly realize, oh, hello, you're disconnected. Because things, I guess. I don't know.
Alright. Captain Liddell has given the ready up signal. Don't forget setups and no formation lap. 2 things that we got to remember.
Yep, straight on to the race.
Yes. As you can see as well from the custom weather, it is dry. Or at least that's what the approximate weather says. Gotta remember, it's not perfect.
Yep. Still, I don't care what it is, it's still broken, that stupid weather system.
Yes, yes it is. Well, that sort of summarizes this game, doesn't it? Broken. Or, no, better word, unfinished. See, in order for something to be broken, it kind of has to be finished. I don't think this is finished. There's just so many unstable things about it that just make the game unenjoyable. You know? It's not fun. Like with the audio glitches, with the lobby stability issues, broken AI in career mode, it's just not fun.
Yeah.
Now it's clear skies instead of slightly overcast. Can't see any cloud cover. Drivers will be selecting their setups, deciding what kind of strategies to go with. What do you reckon, KD? Do you reckon some drivers might start on the soft tire?
I mean, I probably wouldn't see why not if they do. I mean, maybe some drivers up towards the front could do that. See if they can pull a bit of a gap. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea at all. Just go for a bit of an undercut. See how much you can get out of it.
I don't know you can. No, there should be sound, hopefully. There's just very little game sound at the moment. It'll pick up in a bit.
Yeah.
But hey, congrats with the podium as well in the Tier 1. Did well. Did very well. Granted, it needed a bit of drama to take place in order to make that happen, but it happened, so. Alrighty. Everyone's lined up, ready to race for a second time. We have 5 red lights. And we are underway once again here at Zandvoort. And it's a nice start from Humphries. He covers Bell well as we head into turn 1. Big Al down the inside here. He gets in front of CZK. The Malaysian fights back around the outside as we head into turn 2. CZK in 3rd position. He hangs on well. He's on the hard tyre. A few on the mediums I see as well as we head out of 3 and up towards turn 4. T-Mac, Kebab battling away. Apollo gets in front of Stevenson as we head around turn 6 and down into turn 7. But it's Humphries who leads, and I see hards, I see mediums, I see a couple of softs, KD, but the majority of people are on the medium tyre.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see people on the hards for a 35% distance. Really, I would have spent more soft mediums split. Interesting there. But yeah, at the moment it's just pretty much looking nice and stable at the moment as Jinbin overtakes Car as Ryan Bell nearly out a moment there at the exit turn 12.
A tidy start once again from the Elite Series crew. Humphries is your race leader, Bell in seconds, CZK in 3rd. There is Blake Stevenson moving back, trying to defend his position. Down the inside goes CZK on Bell. They made wheel-to-wheel contact as they exit turn 1, head towards turn 2. And eventually CZK has to bail out of the overtake. Around the outside goes T-Mac on Salami. He's a bit too wide though at the exit of turn 3. And as a result he is unable to get by the AlphaTauri. So he stays in P6. Only lost one driver by the way. That was Luke Rockford, a reserve driver. unable to do this second half of the race. That's okay. Still got a solid field of 14 very fast, very competitive racers. Now, Bell on those mediums has to find a way through Jack Humphreys. We'll get some DRS assistance on the next lap. Try and help him out. At the moment, he's a bit stuck, KD.
Yeah, he's quite stuck at the moment, but thankfully, though, he'll be on fresher. He's on fresher tires than what he was on earlier, but he has to find a way by very quickly. DRS will be enabled next lap, of course, on lap 3. But will he try to go for something? He's got slipstream, and he's got the fastest lap as well. He's going to go for it down the inside of Tarzan corner. Oh, that's a bit of a barge. A little bit of elbows out, but I think he's got through. Just. But yeah, got the elbows out there at Tarzan corner for sure.
Ryan Bell has taken the race lead at the beginning of lap 3. I don't think he's going to bolt away, though, on those mediums. As we saw before in our first attempt of a race, Humphreys was able to stick with him on the hard tyre, so I reckon it's going to be more of the same here. Oh, he's got a run, and he's through!
Yeah, that... Oh, hello, Kebab's around. They're at turn 8.
Rejoins down in P14. That's before the outside curve, so I don't know how on earth he did that. The McLarens are side by side. T-Mac looking for a way through on his teammate.
Let's just see there. Oh, he rubs a little bit of gravel on it. Yeah, that's obviously not going to help. Did not have the grip, and here comes Spicy to the inside at the penultimate turn. He will try to get through. He just gets through just now there at turn 14. Ryan Bell, will he go for a move here at the first corner as Big Al pits?
Oh, big bomb down the inside from Matt Plevy, trying to pass Stevenson down the inside. Stevenson gets better traction. Ferrari Pro looking around the long way here at 2. It's tight, very tight. Ferrari Pro gets in front. Stevenson down the inside at 3. Doesn't get the best of runs. Might leave himself a bit vulnerable here, but Plevy's got nowhere to go. He has to stay behind as Al pits onto the hard tyre.
And he also sustained damage as well because he had to change his front wing in the process. So that, I wonder how that might
Jin Bin loses control, and thankfully the ghosting system kicked in right at that moment. Otherwise, we were going to have a 3-car pile-up, I reckon. Jin Bin careened across the racetrack. The ghosting system kicked in. Thankfully, no one got involved in his incident.
Yeah, thankfully. But yeah, while we were in that little excursion, Ryan Bell did take the race lead while we were a bit interrupted. But Jack Humphreys is going to try to counter that. He's got DRS. Of course, that is before the final four now on this layout. And he lifts off, actually. Doesn't want to go for anything yet. That's fair enough. Wants to save battery and conserve. It's Karma, Apollo, side by side into 2. We have the inside line to the banking of 3. He should be able to get the move done. No, he doesn't. Karma gets the better run at the exit of turn 3. They're still wheel to wheel as they make their way through the camber turns, and yep, there you go, the Red Bull through.
Al's back in.
Oh.
Front wing change again. So either that or he didn't get a front wing change to begin with. Bell and Humphreys are battling. Yeah, you're right, ACW. Humphreys is meant to be in the Haas, but he's in a Mercedes for this, it seems. So, yeah, bit strange.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
Around turn 12. So Big Al back out on track, down in 14th position. It's going to be a long 20 laps.
Yeah, and 39 seconds off of the next car. That's not fun at all.
And just hope for a safety car at some stage as Karma gets by Matt Plevy down the inside into turn 1. He's in front quite cleanly. P8 is his. So what was a 4-car battle out in front now has turned to a 3-car battle between Bell, Humphreys and CZK. Although Spicy's sticking with them and he's not letting go.
Yeah, and same with Ferrari Pro, who did switch to the hard tires now. He was on the mediums when we did the first bits, but no, he switched to the hards. And yeah, he's keeping up, at least for now, with the fleeting group. As Humphreys goes through at turn 9, sends it in.
he did. Bell was very wide there. I wonder if Bell lost it heading into turn 9. Maybe went wide, letting Humphries through. I say, Jack looks very quick out there today. He's on those hard tyres. He's got a lot of pace, a lot of grip compared to everyone else on mediums. Granted, CZK's doing a decent job, so is Ferrari Pro. So maybe the pace difference isn't too great between the two compounds, perhaps.
We'll see. But yeah, we do know how quick Jack is. Jack Humphries, that is. As Ryan Bell again down the inside. T-Wiz in the Tarzan corner.
They're giving
Can't get it done.
Now, Bell, he won't be able to do much here. Nice wide line into turn 3. Nice and narrow at the exit. You can see Humphries just gets slightly better traction out of turn 3. Now, I'm looking at tyre temps, KD. Now, if he changes gear, that means his steering wheel is working. Okay, he does. Oh, wiggle through turn 8. All of his tyre temperatures, KD, all of them are 3 digits. They're 100 and something. All 4 tyres are 100 and something degrees. So they're pushing it. They're pushing the limits of these tyres, I'd reckon. Yeah, maybe that's why the mediums just aren't quite as good. They're overheating a little bit.
Yeah, and I could probably say the same story with Ryan's as well. I can't tell from that onboard really what the numbers exactly are, but I can see 3 digits. So yeah. It's either they are pushing or they got higher temps. And there you go, back to the race league goes Ryan Bell.
Yeah, I'm aware of that ACW, but you still got to keep an eye on those temps. It's hard to say what he's actually running right now in terms of tyre temps. I know they're 3 digits, but I can't really tell. One of them's 104, one of them's 103. They're very small, impossible to pick out. But considering they're up in 3 digits, it means they are pushing towards that threshold of how high the tyre can go. Another wiggle there from Bell. He has got the loosest car on the grid, honestly.
Yeah.
That's a blue shopping trolley. The back end steps out so much.
He's like a Repsol Honda, just has no front end, it seems, either.
No front, no rear. Just fast.
I want a loose car, basically. I want a shopping trolley that goes fast.
See if Humphries can't try and get him back. Maybe. Oh, no, he should be able to get this. Onto the main straightaway we go. He closes the gap. Goes to the inside as he begins lap 9 of 25 here at Zandvoort. Gets through. Back into the race lead. Bell down to P2. CZK watching the show in P3. But again, Spicy keeping up. Same with Ferrari Pro. T-Mac just behind. In fact, everyone from P1 all the way down to P11. That's a train. All the way down. All within a second of each other.
Granted, that's not what we saw from the first time either. We only saw like little groups. But yeah, now it's a bit of a different story now in this race. Yeah. Be interesting how this all goes.
Karma's starting to lose touch though to the top 6. The gap's hovering close to a second as Big Al's putting the hammer down, trying to do the best he can with a pretty average situation.
Yeah. The only thing he can salvage is get that fast lap and score just some points. I mean, why not? So where you're at right now.
That's it.
Yeah. You'll get like 3 points, I think, out of it, if I remember correctly.
As the saying goes, every point matters in the world of motorsport as Ryan Bell retakes the lead. Bags gets in front of Plevy as well, so that's a change in position for 9th. Yeah, this is just a back and forth ding-dong battle between these two. Just, they haven't been able to pull away, but always been close enough to just go for the move.
Yeah, granted too for these guys, the top 3 just still got a healthy amount of resources though, to their fair credit. Okay, unlike Spicy and Ferrari Pro, who kind of have a little bit less than that, if you want to have a bit of comparison.
Al still pushing out there, 11.1, new fastest lap. Humphries will take the race lead back down at turn 1. Yeah, Bell unable to pull away, Humphries unable to pull away. As we saw in qualifying, everybody was fairly competitive when it came to lap time. But it seems now in these conditions, with this particular race setting, the competitiveness has only increased. Everyone is still really damn close to one another in terms of lap time.
Absolutely. Jack did not go for a move there in turn 1. He just decided to lift.
Yeah.
And just stay behind. Fair enough on his part, I guess.
I mean, we're closing in on the midway phase of this stint of the race, so yeah. At this point, what's the reason of going back and forth all the time when you can just sit, just wait it out, try and not do anything silly. Just chill out, wait for the right moment to try and strike. Because just going back and forth, it doesn't really gain you anything. It doesn't take anything away either. It's just back and forth.
Yeah, that reaction was just because my reaction. If you just heard me do that, it was just because of Bell. Again, it's showing how loose that Alpine is.
Yeah, no, he's definitely got a quality car. You know, the thing can extract so much lap time, but in order for him to drive it on the racetrack, he has to use every bit of his natural skill. You know, of which he's got plenty of. I mean, that much is obvious. It's just fascinating that he has this car that's super duper loose. And look at it, sliding into 3, the back end stepping out. You know, he's getting that nose to point in as much as possible. It's like a go-kart. That's sort of how he's driving it. Sort of with the back end sliding out, getting the front end towards the apex all the time.
I don't know how he does that. I couldn't do it that way.
No, as soon as that happens, I'd panic and crash into a wall, you know. But he's sort of chaotically out of control and in control at the same time. You know, he's sliding, he's getting the nose in. Like, you compare him to Jack or even, well, anyone else on the grid. They look far more stable. Yellow's out, it's Apollo. Round at turn 10. There goes Kebab. So, small moment, nothing major.
I would have compared it to how his car is right now to Crichton's, because Crichton usually likes to have a loose setup from any time I've watched his races, or even try his setups.
Yeah,
like,
no.
Just how loose that car is. It's just like, how on earth do you do it?
Just natural talent. It's a hell of a thing. Stevenson in. Medium tyres on. Away he leaves. Karma's on a set of softs that he'll use from here to the end of the race. Yeah, we've got a fair old mix-up when it comes to strategies here. I'll be curious to see whether or not those on the mediums right now will pit onto softs, and whether or not the hard runners pit onto the softs too.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think we're going to get a fair mix of strategies here from what I'm going to guess.
I guess the major issue the drivers will have to face on the soft tyre, I've already alluded to it, tyre temps. That'll be about it. I think their lifespan, they probably could make it in this 35% race. But the tyre temps, as soon as you get these tyres hot, they are useless. So, and as ACW pointed out in the chat, the tyre temperature range is a bit different now. As Humphries is going for the race lead, in goes Spicy and T-Mac. Those two are in. Humphries takes the lead. So what do these two do? Hards or softs? No, those are softs. For T-Mac. Plevy's in too. So those two are pitted for softs. And soft tyres for Matt Plevy as well. Interesting.
Okay.
So the only person who hasn't pitted onto soft tyres is Stevenson, and that's because he started on them for this race. So he has to use the medium compound tyre. So that really does suggest to me, KD, that everyone who hasn't made a pit stop yet is going to pit for the soft tyre.
Yeah, at least, I guess, at least the softs will be in somewhat use. But, Yeah, the tire temperatures, like, yeah. The thing is, though, too, if you think about what bit affects it the most is the front left, considering how much of it, how much temperature you build off of this track, from what I've noticed, and not just in this, and previous games too. Like, it's usually the front left that gets mightily cooked, especially if you're a no ABS user. So, that's something to think about as well.
Bags Liddell is in the pit lane. He'll be moving on to the soft tyre. Kebab pitted. No, he hasn't pitted.
No, he's been on that tyre for a while.
I was thinking he might have pitted on the first lap, but no, he has not. So he has to make a stop at some point. Bags Liddell comes out in 10th position in front of Matt Plevy. He's got a clear track in front of him. He can get his head down, just get on with it. And I'm curious, when do this leading quartet pit? Do they all come in at once, KD?
Maybe, or just one of them stick up. Honestly, I would go in now, because Karma might be closing in quite quickly here with this sit on the soft tire. So, yeah, I would take this opportunity now to go in. Well, that doesn't seem to be the case for the top two. No one does! Gee whiz, no one does!
Not a soul.
No one listens to me then. Alright, fair enough.
No, I agree with you, because this lot are kind of going. And here comes Spicy. He moves through. Look at these lap times. 10-4 from T-Mac. So these guys, they're going very quick. They're cutting down that lead. And remember, track position, kind of an important thing.
Yeah. And the gap right now with Spicy and Jack, who's our current race leader, is 17.7 seconds. That means he'll definitely get him for sure.
Issue though, they're going to get by Kebab.
Oh yeah, that's true. And he hasn't stopped yet either.
Nope.
Yeah, so Spicy has to get by him quickly. Meanwhile though, Brian Bell and Jack have seemed to pull away a little bit from CZK from what I've seen. Oh wait, no, that's a layer gap. I'm sorry. I said 1.2 seconds. I was looking at layer gap with CZK. But no, it's still tough war close. Never mind. Jack goes in.
Bit of a weird bit of lag there for Kebab. He just started ghosting. So in comes Humphreys. That's a nice camera angle, gang. That's better. So, soft tyres. There is Spicy Salami. We got a tight pit lane to make our way out of. There he is.
And there goes some of the field there.
Bags Liddell new fastest lap. So Humphreys comes out in 8th position. So Bell, CZK, Ferrari Pro, they're going to come out behind Humphreys here.
Yep.
They got a bit of work to do.
Yeah, Kebab doesn't even fight it. Jack just lets him through. I mean, he doesn't need to do that, granted, but still, it's respectable, I guess, in his...
Doesn't even have the tyres. He could try and plant it in the middle of the road and see what happens. But I think Humphreys will just drive it right around the outside on those tyres. So, yeah, there's really nothing Kebab can do. Just, sayonara, boyo.
Yep.
Fly off into the distance.
Well, Jack is already in DRS range, and there goes the 3 cars into the pits.
Nice and easy into pit lane. You don't want to speed. Don't want to speed. Soft tyres bolted on. This is it. This is a sprint to the checkered flag. Spicy Salami should pass a lot of them. Kebab is in. There he goes. New race leader, Spicy Salami. Karma in P2. T-Mac P3. Humphreys P4 on fresh tyres. He's going to be quick. Same with Bell. Same with CZK. They're going to be quick. And here comes Humphreys through instantaneously at turn 5. He's into 3rd.
Yeah, he's got the fresher tyre advantage from definitely from what we can see. Here he goes into turn, sends it in, doesn't even care. It just sends it in there into turn 9, gets through, and now he's got Spicy to deal with.
Here we go. DRS open, heading towards turn number 11. And we got Ryan Bell. He has to do the same work as well as Humphreys just did. Got to utilise all his racecraft, try and carve his way through this small pack. And Humphreys, he should take the race lead quite comfortably here. It does.
There you go. Yep, just like that. He's into the race lead once again and sets the fastest lap.
Bell closing in, looking down the inside of Karma. Karma leaves him just enough room at the exit of Tarzan Corner. Drag race to turn 2. Bell with the inside line, now turns to the outside line. He has the grip to go right round the outside and move into P4. And here comes CZK.
CZK. Yep, to get through here as well. Karma just got swamped. He just, well, not just swamped, he got bullied there pretty much in just a span of a couple of turns.
To think he was on the podium places.
Oh, I think Ryan Bell just made contact with T-Mac into turn 9. Went maybe a little bit too confident with the brakes, I imagine.
Front wing looks okay on Bell's car, so he's still mobile. He's looking down the inside now, heading into turn 11, gets in front. T-Mac left him enough room. CZK trying to look around the outside. Can't find a way through. But tell you what, that one lap undercut for Humphreys has worked out a treat.
Yep, and he's already pulling the gap. Look at that. 1.1 seconds. Fast lap course there, 109.9. Jesus, that's quick.
CZK getting by T-Mac. That's for 4th position with 6 laps to go. Now the top 3 looks pretty well set, except for perhaps Spicy Salami. He is in 2nd position. Can he hang on to a podium finish? The mountain he has to climb in order to do that is pretty damn big, because Bell and CZK are flying right now, closing the gap rapidly. Meanwhile, Karma's in trouble. He's got Ferrari Pro right behind him, so there's a battle on for P6 on the racetrack as we head out of turn 10 onto the straightaway. Open DRS and shut DRS. Here comes Ferrari Pro, closing the gap. Doesn't go for the move, though. He stays behind. Bell, though, he is right on Spicy. Turns out Spicy's chance for a podium, pretty minimal right now.
Well, it's going to prove that here in just... There you go. Bell gets through. Does CZK get through?
Yeah.
Oh, he's definitely going to get through for sure. Well, you know, that's fastest lap. Yep. There you go, Spicy. Your podium hopes are gone.
Certainly gave it a red hot go, but yeah, the big undercut gave them a lot of track position, but because of the lack of grip those tyres provided, yeah, there's no resistance. There's just no resistance to that.
Not at all. Nope, not at all.
Now, it's going to take a Herculean effort for Bell to catch up to Humphreys at this point. 2 seconds really does not seem like much, but considering the caliber of drivers we have here in this group, 2 seconds is going to take some effort. I mean, these two were only separated by 11 thousandths at the end of qualifying. So,
yeah, not to mention that they both don't really have the greatest battery life. So, I mean, unless someone makes a mistake, I think it could be set in stone, really.
1.6 seconds, though. It was 2 seconds once upon a time. It's now down to 1.6. Lap data. 10.7, couldn't quite catch with Bell. I want to have a look at these lap times. As Ferrari Pro gets by T-Mac. Fairly simple move there. Moves into 5th position. I have a feeling this battle might not... Oh, no, it might be over. I just noticed the tyre life difference between Ferrari Pro and T-Mac. Yeah, it's over between these two. Ferrari Pro will have his sights set on Spicy for that 4th place. 1.4 seconds the gap.
I think Ryan Bell's in trouble because I'm looking at the telemetry.
He's got a yellow fuel icon.
He does.
Humphreys doesn't, neither does CZK.
Yeah, Ryan might be in trouble here.
Turn off the telemetry briefly. Minus 0.5, 0.7. So he's very close. He is very, very close with fuel. Look at that gap. 1 second now. He has got some speed on those tyres. And CZK's following. Man, I didn't think one lap would make this much of a difference, but it is.
Yeah. I don't think anybody...
Humphreys crosses the line, 11.2 compared to a 10.6. 6/10 faster on that lap alone.
And he's within DRS. Less than a second for now. For now, at least.
Man. With 3 laps to go. Bell has an opportunity to try and take the race win. He doesn't have many opportunities, mind you, to try and make this stick. But he's got pace right now. He's got a target, a clear target in front of him. In the back of his mind, though, there's that Malaysian driver, CZK, lurking in 3rd position. And just a little trip down memory lane. This won't be the first time Humphreys and Bell battle. They had a pretty neat ding-dong battle in Pacific Tier 1 at Bahrain that ended in quite catastrophic circumstances for both of them. They'll be looking to not repeat that here in the Elite Series. Bell has an opportunity here, a proper opportunity, to go for the race lead. What will Humphreys do? He leaves the racing line open. The Alpine goes round the outside, and before the braking zone, Bell takes the lead with 2 laps to go. Can Humphreys do anything to respond?
Well, he's got 2 laps to do it. Pro also gets to 4th, so that might be set in stone for that, I think, considering the tire life between the pair of them. But remember Ryan Bell's fuel, that's the thing he's going to have to worry about. I don't know if I would have gone for a move, honestly, just quite then for Ryan Bell. I would have just waited another lap and just try to save some fuel in that lap and then go for the final lap. But I don't know. We'll wait and see.
CZK lurking in 3rd position, watching the show ahead. Humphreys 3.5 tenths behind. He'll get DRS around the final turn and down the main straightaway. It's a long DRS zone down towards turn 1. He should be able to pass Bell, surely. He should be close enough to find a way through. Here we go. Round the final corner for the second last time. We'll make our way down the main straightaway and begin the final lap. Humphreys to the outside. He moves in front of Bell. CZK can't find a way through. Humphreys takes the lead. Bell won't be able to do much to fight back through here. He sort of has to be patient. He needs to match Humphreys as best he can. Stay right on his gearbox, ready for that final sector. 3 tenths is the gap. I reckon he needs to be about 2.5 tenths behind heading into that final corner, KD. He needs to be close enough so he can slingshot by before the finish line.
Yeah, no, I would agree. CZK, though, losing a bit of touch. He needs to keep close. That's the thing. He needs to keep a little bit closer. As Ryan Bell nearly had a moment there at the exit of turn 8 leading to turn 9. That car is loosey-goosey right now so far. But he's keeping within distance. Jim Fitz as fast as slap as they head towards turns 11 and 12.
3 tenths is the gap as they head into the final sector. Through the chicane, they chuck it in. Round turn 12 for the final time. This is it. A bit of a moment from Bell. Look at the gap open. And he weaves out of the way.
He's out of fuel, I think. He's out of fuel.
Yes, he is. He is out of fuel. He's done. That's it. Race over for him. He will not fight for the win. Instead, it will be Humphreys who takes victory here at Zandvoort. CZK second.
Pro might get 3rd here.
He does.
Unbelievable. Pro gets 3rd. And Ryan Bell gets 4th. Spicy could almost got to Ryan Bell, but just only 6 tenths off.
So there we go. Bell couldn't manage the fuel well enough. It conked out with 2 corners to go, and he misses out on a podium finish. Humphreys wins another race. A fine victory. CZK, another podium. Ferrari Pro will get his first of the season. And yes, ACW will be able to do at least one interview now. He's the first PlayStation driver to finish on the podium in Elite. So we'll be able to have a chat to him. There we go. What a fascinating race that was. Karma given driver of the day will see his performance in the final results screen. But for now, time for the podium celebrations. Your race winner for today, Jack Humphreys. A fine drive from him. resulting in victory here for the Dutch Grand Prix. P2 to CZK, another solid podium drive from him. Ferrari Pro, his first podium of the season, finishing third.
Yep, no, that was quite an interesting battle, that's for sure, for the top three. But Ryan Bell, that fuel, I did say it would run out, and it did, unfortunately, costing him any sort of chance of a win or podium.
The unofficial results then of the Dutch Grand Prix. Jack Humphries is your race winner with CZK home in second. Ferrari Pro finishing on the podium in third. Ryan Bell had the opportunity to finish in the front in the top three. His fuel tank said no, so he ended up finishing in fourth. Spicy P5, followed by T-Mac in sixth. Stevenson P7, then Karma from 13th on the grid finishes P8, followed by Bags Liddell. Matt Plevy rounds out the top 10. Kebab P11, followed by Apollo Pepsi. Big Al found trouble early in this shortened race. He finishes P13 with Jinbin in last position, 14th place with fastest lap. Yeah, no, we should be able to invite Mr. Ferrari Pro in. Have a chat, finally. Let's see if we can't find him here. There he is. Alright. Oh. Man. Another final lap thriller, KD.
I know, you've been busy with that, it seems.
Flat out, bro. Far out. Quick shout out as well to our top two again. I don't know why Jack's in the Mercedes for. He's a harsh driver. But
I don't know.
I guess I'll find context in regards to that sooner or later. And congrats to CZK. Another podium. He's awfully consistent at doing that. Hello, Ferrari Pro. If you're there. I'm guessing still connecting audio for me.
Oh, g'day, boys.
Oh,
sorry, I had my mic muted.
That's alright, mate.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Mate, welcome back.
Oh, it's good to be back.
It's been a little freaking while.
Well, I really have no idea what just happened, honestly.
Well, in fairness, that fourth place was very well deserved at that point. You put together a pretty solid drive and the strategy worked out pretty well for you. Pitting later onto the soft tyres compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
But, I'm sure that
exactly.
P3 was a welcome surprise.
I saw a yellow flag in the final sector, like before the penultimate corner. I thought like there was just maybe a bit of contact, a bit of debris like fell off one of the cars. I didn't expect to see the Alpine just running low on fuel and then going into low fuel mode. So I just took every opportunity.
That's it, mate. Flew on by, ending up on the podium. You must be pretty relieved to know that you've got at least one podium finish for this season.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy with that. I've been pretty disappointed with the season so far, but yeah, that's pretty good. It's
Fair
nice to be.
Cast our mind back to qualifying. I know it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
Not really what I was wanting, because I knew I could go quicker, especially when I was doing practice, but in the end it's practice might never ever be as important or accurate as the actual things. Yeah, I was a bit disappointed, but I think I started P7, so it wasn't too bad. Yeah, I thought it was alright because, if there's contact at the front, I can try make avoiding action, even though I was in the midfield, but yeah, it was alright.
How did the initial start go before the red flag?
Yeah, I reckon it was pretty good. From what I remember, I did make up a couple places that dropped back and made up, dropped back and that. But I think it was pretty good overall.
Fair enough.
And I think when the red flag came out, it kind of caught me off guard because I generally thought that a lot of people were just crashing out of that. And I was getting excited and all that.
And then you see the red flag pop up in the Discord.
Yeah.
And Codemaster issues. What do you know? But
That's it.
when the red flag came out, made the announcement for a 35% race. What was the game plan? Did you have a game plan heading into the new race?
I think I was a bit like confused on the tyres because I really didn't know what to use on tyres, so I went for a gamble on the hards to see if it paid off. The hards didn't feel too bad either, so they actually felt really good, very competitive against mediums also, especially when they were fresh. So I think what I did was pretty good. You know, I put the right amount of fuel in. I think I finished on, I finished, you know, well above from negative and that. So I was well in the positive range. So
yeah,
I think the setup was good also. I was pretty happy with that. Yeah, it was very nice.
Fair enough. But yeah, you went a bit longer on those hard compound tyres, pitted on the softs when the leaders did. Then you carved your way through. It must have been a nice feeling with all that pace, just making these nice moves here and there, picking your way through.
I was really, like, I knew it would be like a massive disadvantage to them who pitted earlier for the softs, but I didn't think it would be like that much. I really wasn't expecting that. But yeah, well, it was pretty nice. I think I did one move right to the inside of Karma and the banking. Like, I think he might have just let me go or not, but I don't know, it felt really nice doing that, so... It's always nice getting overtakes and bankings, not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, I imagine the reaction was pretty good when you saw the Alpine sign down, you flying by, finishing on the podium.
Yeah, it was good. And, again, I wasn't expecting this. I was like, oh, what just happened? Yeah.
Did you even have the look at the mini map in terms of seeing the blue dot just strolling by?
Oh yeah, I saw the mini map, but I didn't think it was like low fuel mode was like that slow. I thought like it could have maybe been a little bit more horsepower.
Oh, okay. I thought you would have known that, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did see him going slow, but man, I was just going for it to the line. I'll tell you what.
Fair enough. But I think that just about covers it, Ferrari Pro. One final question for you. I don't think we have a race next week, as KD pointed out earlier in the stream. We should be having a bye week. So we won't be returning until the 12th of September, in which case it'll be the first sprint round of the championship, and that's at Spa-Francorchamps. What do you reckon, heading into the Belgian Grand Prix? How do you think you're going to do?
I do like the occasional sprint, and I really do like Belgium in this game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You know, there's plenty of time, you know, to practice for it, and that. I'm sure a lot of other guys will be doing the same. But yeah, hopefully it's going to be as good as this result. Who knows? But you know, I'll be giving it my all, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, hopefully within that time frame, Codemasters fix up their connection and stuff. So then we have an uninterrupted race, because that'll be great. But congratulations, Ferrari Pro. Welcome back to the podium, mate. Good job with the P3.
Thank you, lads. Thanks for the commentary, KD and Lane. And congrats to Jack Humphreys in P1 and was it CZK in P2?
CZK, yep.
Yeah, congrats, boys.
And I think, KD, they'll wrap up just about everything. Like I said before, another nail-biter. Right to the checkered flag.
Yep. Pretty much for what, the fourth race in a row for you, eh? No, it was good. Hopefully it'll be the same story again for America Series, but
I have a pretty distinct feeling Pacific Tier 1's probably going to be like this.
Oh yeah, Pacific Tier 1. How could I forget about that? Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hopefully America's too.
Hopefully for my outcome it'll be top step again, but we'll see. Or just a good result. That's the main thing.
I think that's just about it, folks. A final congratulations again to our top three. Congratulations to Mr. Jack Humphreys for winning the Dutch Grand Prix. A fine drive once again. Nice and tidy as well from what I could tell. So, trouble-free. Only bit of drama really was what happened right at the end there with Mr. Bell running out of fuel. These things happen from time to time, and it was not much of a miscalculation. Just missed out with 2 corners to go, and that's all that it takes really, and he fell off the podium as a result. I think, folks, with everything said and done, it's now time for us to wrap up the stream. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching. I've been Lane Everingham, my co-commentator, as always. It's KD1997. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time for round 4 of the championship at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix. Until then, it's goodbye.